of crazy, borderline unheard of, because even the teams that finish, you know, first place, second place, they're only they're still dropping like 3-4 games by the time they make it over the finish line. So for JDG, this could be a huge summer season regular finish.
It absolutely could be. And game number 1 has already started. We're trying to catch up here, but the biggest importance is that yes, JDG look unstoppable, but if they are unstoppable tonight, if they beat Ultra Prime here, JDG and BLG lock playoffs for the summer split. The road of gold could be started to be paved here for JDG, as they had already gotten 1 regional title, 1 MSI title, and 1 dance between Ruler and Doggo. I think I like the third option the best so far. They're like making little heart circles.
I think they were. There was also another set of AD carries that were dancing with each other. I think it was either yesterday or the day before.
There's been a lot of dancing.
There's been a lot of
top laners or ADCs.
Yeah, and you know what? I love the sportsmanship, right? As we come into the games here. Always good to see. As now, as the dancing has concluded, Ultra Prime are like, it's vision time. We want to know what
we actually have to play the game now. We can't just keep dancing. So, all right, even if we want to dance all night long, we can't do that.
By the way, not sure if we, you know, we've been a bit, we're only 9 seconds in, we've been having a little bit of fun. Kanavi's playing Rail Jungle, so that'll be something that we're gonna...
That is the thing. This man has been on a tear with junglers, right? I watched him literally pick apart Shadow on Ivern on a Belveth, and now he's playing the Rel. He's bringing it to where all the patches have been leading it to. And we'll see if Ning on the other side, who has been the brightest point, I feel like, for Ultra Prime, can do something about it, because Kanavi is that linchpin for JDG.
Yeah, definitely is. I'm very curious to see how Kanavi does on this Rel pick. I haven't really seen too much of it, especially in pro play, but I know it's been tearing up solo queue. Not just generally, but even by the numbers. Like, it's had some pretty high solo queue win rates, shall we say the least. But right now, as we have the split screen, Mazel talk about it, definitely keeping pace with the Sejuani clear. In fact, I think if Kanavi didn't miss that Q on the Krug when he first got on top of it, he'd probably be ahead of him by a good couple of seconds. See where he ends up going, though, as it seems like he's kind of feigning the fact that he could be going over to the top side, and he's just beelining it down here to the bottom side of the map. So SwordArt Doggo could actually get caught off guard by this. Kanavi's even going to go over the back of the Dragon Pit wall to avoid any ward in the Tri-Brush, so he is looking for an aggressive pathing in here.
And this is the kind of stranglehold that JDG always look to grab. And Doggo and SwordArt, they are the primary focus. You got the initial knockup and more CC to follow. One more auto, and it's actually the cow who has the horns this time. SwordArt's going to give that flash. That's all 4 summoner spells burned by Ultra Prime, and that's an easy peasy 2 kills for JDG on the bot lane.
Oh my god, this is great, isn't it? This is amazing pathing from Kanavi, and frankly, Doggo and SwordArt can't really do too much about it. And even on the way back out, getting the heal, the E speed up as well, just to ensure he doesn't take the extra tower shot. The execution, start to finish, was excellent there from JDG.
And we see something they've done time and time again is just find early focuses and do not stop. A beautiful use of vision and pathing, at least for JDG.
Really, really good stuff. Missing as well. Q flash, very little reaction time for Doggo. SwordArt even knocked back. You know what? I think he deserved that first kill, to be fair. As, yeah, chase down, fairly simple. Almost gets a bit complicated when Kanavi has to go underneath the tower. But again, speed up from the new E, plus that heal just about gets him out of range of dying from that tower.
We see there was not much of a response other than Ning trying to get as much ahead in CS as possible. Sejuani's clear time is very nice, but I think the key factor for a lot of moments where we've seen JDG up in teams has been there is a big focus, trying to focus down Ruler and missing, but you never take the King's head off. You always miss, it feels like. And that's something in this series in particular, I really wanted to see if Doggo and SwordArt could even put up to the test, right? If Ning can get that support down there in the bottom lane. So far, so good for JDG. We do see Knight also heavily pressing Forge in the mid lane, but taking a bit of an unfavorable trade.
Yeah, but I think he's looking for a reset anyway, right? So he's happy to trade out his HP whilst he secures priority. And what it does kind of do is give Kanavi almost an opportunity to steal this way. To be fair, Ning doesn't have Smite, but does he know Ning doesn't have Smite? If it resets, then it's just gone. Forge can also help him out. So Kanavi, he does get all the little ones, I think, but at the end of the day, not going to get the big prize, you know, the big chicken thigh out of the captain.
You know, maybe that's a weird question to ask on broadcast, but as
No,
a man from Texas, you always ask about meat, all right? And what's your favorite, you know, piece of the chicken? What do you?
My
It is
favorite
literally
piece of the
ingrained
chicken.
in my soul. I could talk about meats
You know
or
what?
things all day long. All right?
No, you're right. You're right. Listen, when I was down south, there was a lot of, hey man, what kind of, you know, what protein do you want to eat tonight for dinner? Gosh, favorite bit of chicken. I would say, you know, I'm a simple man. I do just like a good drumstick, you know, a good leg.
Ooh,
that's what I'm there for. A lot of the
Well,
time
I don't know if Kanavi's got any drumsticks for Ning, but he definitely wants some of what he's got as Kanavi making it out for a second. Going to be followed up here with a flash from Ning, though, and a response from Ultra Prime on the map. Ruler has shown up, though, and this is a little bit dicey for Ultra Prime. Knight is on his way, but he's gone the other way. He's got Rocket jump over the wall and missing, goes in for the engage. Forge is on his way, but SwordArt will just die to Knight from that huge buster shot there. Just a solid chunk of damage and a bit of back and forth, but JDG still 3-1 easy.
Yep, still find themselves a kill trade as Hery troubles the end.
Got a 1v1. Oh, is the ram bigger than the alligator? It looks like we won't find out today, but it's getting a little bit dicey up there for the slice and dice master.
Yeah, it looks like 369 at the start of this combo didn't actually have his E up. So what you'll often see very seasoned Orns do is throw out the Q, then the R if the Q hits, knock up with the E, and then you just get this massive bit of chain CC that is often very, very hard to respond to. You actually honestly die before you even hit the ground again. So 369 looked for that combo, didn't quite have the E, so doesn't find the full 100-0 there, and Hery does walk out with his life just almost exchanged. And it seems like, given Kanavi's pathing, he really is trying to get involved towards the dragon. Not actually quite possible to pick up this first dragon, but we'll see how long it actually takes for some setup to actually come through. The wave down here on the bottom side is kind of frozen right now for Ultra Prime, so it does feel a little bit bad. They're going to have to shove this one out, so I anticipate for now JDG will just continue to be a little bit more relaxed on the bottom side until we do see another big wave stacked up for them.
It's got to be a little bit of that preemptive moves, the thinking ahead. I know we were talking about last night, since we've spent a decent amount of time together over the last couple of days. We were talking last night a little bit about thinking ahead, right? Thinking 3 minutes ahead, trying to figure out what your next game plan is. And so far, I feel like a lot of the games we see JDG, when they do feel like they can just skill check opponents, they don't necessarily cross all their T's, dot all their I's, right? They're a lot of the time looking for skirmishes, looking for fights. They're not going for these big early objectives to start stacking super early and make that oppressiveness happen. We do see oppression happening tonight, though, as he takes that tower shot. Does have to burn that. That was a little bit dicey there for himself as well. Kanavi was right around the corner before Jobus gets the solo.
Yeah, you know, you are right, though, Mazel. There is a point where, I mean, look, you know, Kanavi's starting to bust out slightly more out there jungle picks recently. And, you know, generally overconfidence can be a thing that starts to creep in, right? When you are as good as JDG are, there's no denying that. Not necessarily to say that, you know, it's bad to be confident or anything like that, but as you mentioned, sometimes that overconfidence does lead into things like not quite, you know, following rules by the books, right? Making sure that you are crossing your T's, dotting your I's, all that good stuff. All of the textbook League of Legends that you want to be following, so we'll continue to track that for JDG, but generally they're just so good that often it doesn't really matter, you know? So I feel like domestically, it's not really going to be an issue until, you know, they have to face up again against the likes of BLG or, you know, maybe if Top Esports decide to be on form or any of the other teams inside of the top 4, top 5. And even then, they still kind of seem a little bit of a head above the rest right now.
It has been, right? Like a 9-win streak is nothing to slouch at. After taking that initial loss to Weibo, they have lost games, right? Titans do bleed. And we've seen, if you've watched Pacific Rim, they do fall. But it is JDG who have seemingly found exactly what they want to go for in a lot of situations. They're pulling out a lot of flexibility. If you give them the comfort of their tried and true picks of the Cassante, Wukong, Annie, Aphelios, Rakat, like that looks really nice. But they also have shown that they are really flexible with the meta. And Kanavi himself has been flexing on people, man. He's just going with whatever he's feeling.
And you know what, for me, that's actually a really good gauge of where a team might actually be in terms of not only confidence, but also like meta read and understanding. If you start busting out some of these like really weird junglers as hello, Knight again.
Yeah, we're just right back in deja vu here.
You know, yeah, you know what, it's fine. We'll keep talking because these guys love being underneath the tower, I guess. But yeah, like if a team starts to get to a point where they're, you know, developing these, you know, they're cooking up in the lab, all of these jungle picks that they feel confident bringing out on stage, does make you wonder if JDG are, fully playing seriously on the money with the strongest picks available 24/7. As Rula gonna force out the ultimates, trade back and forth. Oh, -1. I guess that's where the trade really that's really where the trade ends. It's just Rula didn't get the cannon minion.
Oh, feels bad, man. Feels bad, man. It is just a little bit of poking fun, though. A lot of pressure from JDG on bottom side, though. Missing is under pressure himself. We'll have to burn that flash. Does have his Hex flash, so returnable there. Ning. He actually has a bit of an angle, but SwordArt and Doggo can't exactly join, so disconnected just a tiny bit, and JDG's bot lane untouched still, and that's a problem.
Yep, big problem. I mean, to be fair, Rula, I guess, doesn't have a kill yet, but he's up in CS, and SwordArt is probably fine. I think they're just going to look to disengage. They still know Ning's in the area. Kanavi can definitely make it down here in time if Ning opts to try and make this some kind of aggressive play, and Knight also has first move, so I think Ultra Prime need to get the hell out of dodge before the demons come a knocking, and it seems like for now they will do just that.
We'll lose a little bit of presence down on the bottom side for Ultra Prime, but SwordArt is out on the roam, and that is huge for me. The connection between Ning and SwordArt is always important, but Missing is right there behind Kanavi, and their engage is definitely stout, as we haven't really had much since that early blood, but we have a lot of positioning around this bottom side of the map. And Ning constantly trying to hover here, knowing that this is a primary focus, but he is find himself a little bit out, and Kanavi stops him from taking the control. Oh my gosh. Feels
just
bad.
Jungle gap, isn't it?
Just the jungle gap.
Can you say hello?
Dude, Rel Doggo's looking kind of nutty right now. Ruler gets caught though, and they might have found the king. They do get him down. Doggo gets the kill. Emperor's Divide pushes Knight back, but you've got the double marksman comp, and Knight says, you take out one, I'm the second. And it's a nice pickup kill from JDG to capitalize.
If Rula's the king, Knight has to be... Well, actually, I can't really call him a queen.
He's the Knight.
He's the Knight. So I was going to say he can move wherever he wants, and it's a really cool line, but his name's Knight, and that's technically a piece and... God damn it, Knight. What's wrong? Man, anyway. Point is, JDG still trade 1-for-1 on a trade which realistically should have been Ultra Primes to win. Big headbutt pulverize, maybe.
They have so much follow-up engage, man. You just can't get it. Knight... He probably could have killed Forge right there, but he went for the auto attack on the Rift Herald. Charge still goes through, but JDG are running rampant here, and the Kaiju is looking hungry, Jamada.
Yes, they are indeed. 2K gold lead as well. This stage of the game can mean a fair amount. And Ultra Prime, you start to wonder. I mean, we saw a lot of these comps yesterday, didn't we, Mazel? As I actually kind of pondered back, you know, Azir, Zaya, defensive support. A little bit of re-engage through Sejuani. So for JDG, I mean, here's the thing. I trust JDG so much to just close out the game with a lead that I'm not sure that the composition really matters. But definitely if they start to make a couple of mistakes, right, where they do find themselves in maybe numbers disadvantages in the first pass of skirmishes, things like that, they can certainly start to fall behind a little bit. But for now, with the gold lead, I feel like it will be a little bit too difficult, as Rula not quite respecting the fact that Ning can just chuck the Glacial Prison at his face and does find himself dead for it. Doggo, no flash, and does get assassinated by Knight amongst all of this mayhem, and the rest of the disengage from Ultra Prime is just them using their flashes out. So, no summon the spells now means, to me, that JDG will have very, very easy targets to try and jump on top of, right? Ruler can always follow up on all of the CC from Kanavi and Missing. So now it's going to be about a vision game where they just kind of start to suffocate Ultra Prime out and turn small trades into bigger dives.
I try to make something out of nothing here, though, but JDG want to make something out of bot lane. Maybe they're looking for a nice hungry meal here. Ruler on the back with Killer Instinct makes it huge. And there's just something about a double marksman composition when you're ahead of it just feels even more oppressive. We've seen so many times in the LPL where double marksman comps don't work out or it's hard to execute. Right now, it's looking easy.
This is ridiculous. This level of execution for JDG is just crazy. You're cooling down 369 to keep the minion alive so they can kill the tower whilst also diving Forge at the same time. Absurd. I mean, Hery, sure, he's going to pick up this tower, right? But at this point in the game, when you're down almost 3,000 gold, you're probably going to lose the next dragon. Herald is also up on the map, which I guess you'll technically trade back. How much do you care about a Gore Drinker and Ecton picking up this gold at this point in the game? I feel like the answer is going to be not that much when you've got as much PL and
True.
CC as JDG have. We'll see how Hery can try and operate inside these team fights, but again, I feel like the hill is one that's going to be very steep for him to climb, as there will be a trade of, at the very least, this Herald being picked up by Ultra Prime. But again, where do you even look to place it at this point in the game?
It's the second one, right? It still becomes difficult for them. Like, even the first one was difficult to get in the end. They did get a charge off, but I'll just say, man, that flexibility for Kanavi has been so awesome. But the fact to see the Rel come through on top of what else he's been able to grab out is just showing the strength of this guy and the confidence. And confidence is key in the LPL. And he's got it in full right now.
Yeah, he absolutely does. And also, just to kind of touch on, well, you know, we'll talk about the replay first, because I want to talk about the jungle matchup for a second. Why it's so interesting too, even though we're kind of past that stage of the game. The execution here, 1 minion left, 369 just based. Teleport keeps the minion alive, and it just ensures that the Stivon's Forge is very, very easy to access. But the other reason why I expect that Kanavi has picked up this Rel here in this game was that they saw the Sejuani first, because don't forget the passive of Rel is that when she auto-attacks champion, she steals, I want to say it's 3% of the target's magic, resist, and armor. So that stacks up 3, 4, 5 times, I think. So, of course, Sejuani having as much MR and armor as she does because of the frost armor, etc., it just makes her significantly tankier in skirmishes if she's also in the mix and being auto-attacked down by the Rel. So
yeah,
JDG and Kanavi just specifically flexing the knowledge of the matchup as well, and understanding that it's kind of hard to get bullied out.
It is. And I'm actually looking at, there's a high chance it's just not updated or some of the things are in the wrong positions. But I'm looking back and I don't see right now a competitive Rel jungle that has come through yet. Maybe so if you see it and you find it, at me on Twitter, please, at Mazel, because it's actually really interesting to me.
If
you want to spend some time looking at that, because I would love to double check that, because that would be huge. But secondly,
globally, it has to have been
go ahead.
But continue.
Yeah, secondly, not only this Rel jungle is the connection, but it's also that engage, the forward engage that JDG can play with the rest of their members around. That's why this composition works so well. You are working with 2 marksmen that want to go forward, right? Ruler can pick you apart from the back line. Knight's going to be taking you from front to back. And that is what is so terrifying when you don't have anything to speak of, even only with a 2,000 deficit. It doesn't seem like that much, but JDG are just that oppressive.
Yeah, it seems like this is actually.
I see it all support unless they're in the wrong category. I went through and like hovered all the names too to see if they had support or jungle, and I don't see a jungle on there, which is actually incredible.
Wow.
But it's already been so damn good. Like, this is insane. He has been so persistent already.
There have also been, gosh, since Rel's been reworked, there's been such a long list of changes that I can't recall. I think this is the patch where they slightly overbuff Rel jungle, and on live.
I think it was 13-13, yeah.
I think 13-13 is where they bring it back down. I think this is the patch where it's actually quite strong. Not gonna lie, just because I was also away, it's been kind of hard to track some of these patches as Forge has to use his ultimate to disengage. Feels like he's just not been able to play the game at all. Anytime he gets any member of JDG within like 200 units of him, he just has to press his R key because he's in third of dying.
And you see, you know, Hery right now is an advantage in the side lane, and that'll be something that Ultra Prime can build off of. But right now, in all these big picks, it's not happening. Ruler flashing away from the engage there, and Hery might have found the backline access. JDG will force the TP, and they're just trying to take this fight as slowly as possible. Here comes 369 to try to save the day. He's got the big Orin, but Ruler will fall yet again. 369 now has to flash over the wall, but Ultra Prime are on the come up. Ning in some trouble here. Does have a bit of tankiness as a Sejuani trying to huddle in JDG on the bottom side, but Knight has been taking turrets in the top side.
Yeah, so for JDG, how bad is this really? Tristana just got 600 gold, a couple of waves as well on the top side, so sure, you lose out on, what, Ruler, maybe one other life as well, but do you really care? Again, is kind of the question I have to ponder, as we didn't talk about what Soul and Dragon we have on the map. It is Cloud, and honestly, in a game like this, for JDG, that's going to kind of be it's going to be an irritant. Having that much movement speed, getting away as Ultra Prime might be a really, really big problem. But this collapse here from Ultra Prime, really, really solid. As Hery couldn't quite find his way onto Ruler for a little while. Almost kills Missing, and then eventually locks down Ruler long enough for the rest of Ultra Prime to show up. And JDG just a little bit scattered here on this fight,
Yeah,
right?
just
Not
a little
quite
bit.
expecting the angles here from Ultra Prime, and again, potentially not expecting the angles.
Oh, but Kanavi with a big Magus Storm. He's stuck, though, and a Nimper's divide from Forge pushes them in. Nice trying to rocket jump out here, but this is a dangerous position because JDG are in one fell swoop and a powerful one. Ning is trying to run away, but he'll just fall, and the double marksman comp comes alive. A triple kill for Knight, and Ruler even gets himself one.
My goodness me, JDG, you know, I feel like, you know, we're watching a boxing match and this has just been, you know, one fighter has been rocking the other fighter the entire time, and then the fighter that's been losing gets that one hit and that kind of gets you a little bit daisy, a little bit off your feet, and then JDG just immediately rock them back. And yeah, I feel like Ultra Prime just don't really have an answer right now. Their composition is not designed to necessarily play the game just yet outside of their Renekton. And for JDG, full skirmishing power online, 2 items for both the AD carries as well, I think, whilst this fight was going on. And yeah, the initial part definitely, again, you know, Missing Kanavi a little bit far ahead, but as soon as Knight's here, this ultimate from Kanavi is huge. 4 members, he is actually stuck. I think he was pulling them in so close, he couldn't move. So that just shows how powerful that ultimate was. Forge ends up in the hands of Knight, and beyond that, there's just not really too much that Ultra Prime can do on any side of the map, as Ruler dealt a ridiculous amount of burst damage to Hery and gives him the thumbs down for good measure. And Ultra Prime, I think you just have to throw everything at the wall and see what sticks now, because if you try and turtle, I think you're just going to get, yeah, this is going to happen, Mazel.
The combo comes through. Ooh, but they're fighting on the other side. Ruler, who right now is just a target dummy, so they can distract from the golden left hand of JDG. You swing the right, you look at the left, and it's Knight tearing you a new one. Ning goes down, and the resets have come alive. A triple. Are we about to get a second penta here? Ultra Prime don't want to give that one away. Knight wants it, though. He's looking for it. Featherstorm comes through. Blade Collar not going to connect there. And the penta has long gone now, but JDG do not want to give up the momentum.
You can always see when those potential penta moments start to happen in front of your eyes, but Doggo having the Featherstorm actually kept Knight at bay for a really long time, so good discipline from Knight to not just immediately jump in, get a little bit too overhyped, as JDG just turned this into a Baron, apparently, you know. Ning is still dead, and they have a ward on the back, so once Hery walks up, it's not really going to matter too much. Ultra Prime will know, but they can't really stop this from happening at all, so JDG will now pick up the Baron 23 minutes into the game, and they can go up towards the base of Ultra Prime and take whatever they want, as the initial engage pretty much just starts from Missing, finding this flank and setting up for Kanavi to find a 4-man gravity well. Maybe it was 3, no, just about 4. And Ruler, to be fair, steps up to the wall. Ning, back to back, has found him with good glacial prisons, in all fairness. Knight potentially just underestimating. Why is he not running cleanse? Actually, now that I think, you know what, he's Ruler. I'm not going to question it. Either way.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think we have the right.
Yeah, we don't have the right. You know what, it's fine. My bad.
We do not have the right.
Yeah. But, yeah, not having that cleanse has definitely got him killed once or twice. Ning has been abusing that fact. As,
he's got to learn to die sometimes, okay? He doesn't die very often. All right, you know, so maybe this is one of those. He's like, Knight, you go unkilled. You go 11-0, maybe make it 12. No, Kanavi, he ends up getting that one. But it's JDG putting the final touches on this first game, and a dominant one here. They want to be the quick knell to Ultra Prime. They also want to lock themselves into the summer playoffs and try to make a berth, as this will be a nice little in for JDG. They might be able to clean up the rest of the members here. Looks like they want to try to go in the Nexus. Knight is looking for more, but he shouldn't die, because then it'll be his first death, even though his KDA wouldn't change. But he wants some more kills, and the Nexus is the next target.
Oh my god!
Oh! He gets another one. It's just stalwart, stoic faces from JDG as they put the finishing touches on this game number 1. And it's a Ultra Prime who are reeling now.
Goodness me, JDG. That was graphic. Can we have that on stream? That was pretty well executed from start to finish. There wasn't really too much to hit on there for me for JDG. They were confident